Welcome back to another episode of Spicy Tales Podcast with Kim and Stacy.
Hello.
I don't know what we're talking about right now.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the fucking Porsha nonsense because bitches be wildin'.
Porsha who?
What's her last name again?
I don't know what her last name is, but where do we know her from?
Oh, from Real Housewives.
Yeah.
First of
Atlanta.
First of all, Real Housewives, I don't know how they're like still going. Like, I just don't.
Mean?
Not because.
Well,
okay,
actually, some of them are trash. I'm watching Potomac. It's so bad.
First of all,
You don't watch.
what the fuck is Potomac? Where's Potomac?
I think it's like DC area.
I don't care what the DC people are
Or
doing.
Maryland. I don't know.
Where y'all eating lobster? Like, what? I don't give a shit. Oh no, that's Maine. Sorry, wrong place.
They're one of the black cast ones.
It's not that okay. The Atlanta one, yes, 100%.
That's like an iconic one.
Obviously.
New Jersey,
stop it. Because
Teresa
New Jersey,
forever.
Teresa, 100%. That day when she fucking
Flipped the table, and that
I
was
was
like
like-
season 1.
I was like, I love the show. This is the best show ever.
Orange County was
Orange
the first
County.
one. New York with Bethany.
Bethany
That's a really old one. We could also talk about Bethany and Raquel later on.
Yeah, Bethany Frankel. Anyway,
What's her drink? Skinny.
skinny.
That's a huge.
I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Anyways, I can't remember Portia's last name.
Williams, I think it was before.
Oh, I meant right now.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know what her last name was before. Anyways, Porsha and her like 15-minute marriage. What's up with celebrities and their like
Oh my
marriages
God, I
that don't
hate
last?
it.
Like, do you guys not value marriage? Like, I'm confused. Like, I feel like they do it just for fun. Like, it's almost like, hey, I'm bored. We've been dating for 5 minutes. Let's get married. And then you're like, oh shit, I kind of don't like you. Like, let me just get divorced. Like, I don't understand.
It's like dating for them.
But then why don't just date? Like, what's the point of getting married and then all this extra? Like, it just seems
Skinny girl. That was
that's a
Bethany
skinny girl,
Frankel.
yeah. It just seems like a lot.
It is because Porsha has a kid with someone, but it's not Cordell. Because when we first met her on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, she was dating Cordell or married to Cordell. He was an ex-football player. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was on the down low. And then she ended up
with the accusations.
And then she was with some other guy who she had a baby with, and then she ended up being with Simone Guobadia.
Where's he from again?
Ghana or Nigeria?
One of the two, and I'm very sorry, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know which one, but anyways, they literally got married like I think
15 months ago.
15 months ago? Like, that's crazy. Like,
I mean, that's better than Kim's shortest.
Oh, you mean
for like 3 months or something?
Or like fucking Britney Spears and her 72-hour marriage?
Oh.
Like, I just don't understand why
Well, at that point, you just get it annulled, so.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, she was announced. Well, okay, first, Porsha, obviously, she was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then apparently, so Fallon, this was a new cast member that came onto the show. And she was married to the Simone guy. And then drama came out. It was really messy. And it kind of looked like Porsha and Fallon were friends on the show, but later on you found out that they weren't really friends. And then so it was said that Fallon was cheating on Simone. So then they got a divorce. But while they were getting a divorce, all of a sudden, Porsha is with Simon. They end up getting engaged like a month after being together. And then they get married. And they look like they're like the power couple.
Their best life.
She leaves The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's living her best life. He seems like he's being a great stepfather to her daughter. And then maybe last week we find out that she's coming back to the newest season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then literally today, it's today, right? Or yesterday? Yeah, yesterday.
One of the 2 days.
People magazine released that she filed for divorce. And so it's like, honestly, I feel that everything is for a storyline, which is so annoying. Like, nothing is authentic online in celebrity land. And I find that the Simone guy is pretty messy, so I would not be surprised if a bunch of shit starts coming out. Like,
But also, I did see that, like, I guess he's got like issues becoming a U.S. citizen. 'Cause he's
right,
got like like old legal troubles or something
right.
like that.
When like Reagan was president or some shit like
Not
that.
Reagan.
Yeah,
How
a
old
lot of
is this guy?
he's old. He's old.
Oh my God.
I mean, he's
Reagan.
got that
Like,
great
my
skin
God.
because like Africa, you know, black don't crack. But he's wild
No
enough.
wonder I didn't realize how old he was, because I was like, he doesn't
He's
really
from the
look-
motherland.
Well, fair. Okay. He's got that source of, like, right at the source of the fountain of youth.
Exactly.
fine.
And so yeah, she's going to be single, which is great.
I saw a bunch of like people commenting and like saying like they think that
It's
the
a
reason
storyline.
no, like the reason for the divorce is more legally related and less like
Because they're not getting along.
yeah, like somebody made a comment saying like it's looking like a US divorce, but they're still married. Like in
Well, they did
Africa
have
or
their like
whatever.
African wedding too.
Yeah, so I don't know, but like it just I don't know, man.
Something smells off about this situation, and I mean, I hope the best for Porsha because I really like Porsha, but like, I don't know about these African men, man.
Aren't you with an African man?
Yeah, comedies, but you know, yeah, these like from Africa. I don't know. He would have been different,
You think?
even though his dad is really sweet, actually. But we all know how
His
like
dad isn't even like that.
we all know how like even Haitian men, for example, that are from Haiti, they're very romantic and whatever. But like they'll have a
let me tell
whole
you,
other family.
Haitian men are the most romantic in love cheaters you'll ever meet in your life. Like no one will ever show you love like that while simultaneously cheating on you.
Lying
Like
to you
it's
every day,
fucking
betraying,
crazy. Like and
betraying you.
literally betraying you, like literally like losing their mind if the thought of losing you. Meanwhile, they have another wife and a bunch of kids somewhere else. Like I don't understand.
I can't.
Our people need to do better.
But you know
Y'all
how
need to get it
you know
together.
how guys are though too. Like they will cheat on you, and then if you talk to someone else, like they're boohooing.
Having
All
a
sad.
full heart attack.
Like I honestly feel that emotionally women are stronger because we could maybe because we can like turn things on and off better, because if a guy is cheating on us, we could forgive that, but if a girl is cheating on a guy, that's the end of the world.
Yeah.
It's the end of the world.
Literally.
Or
like,
if a guy is telling you about their past and we're like, yeah, like obviously you've slept with other people, like the and then
like,
you tell
yeah, I
them
held-
about your
I
past,
held hands with the guy.
and they're like,
"Oh."
you weren't a virgin.
You're
Like what?
Bruh.
It just does. But I think also because we might not think sex as this huge thing, because I find that women are more accessible to sex, and like men throw themselves at women so much that we're just like kind of desensitized to it, whereas men almost have to like really build themselves up for women to desire them, so they might put more of like an importance to it,
I guess.
and be like, but then it's like it just doesn't, such a double standard, because then it could be like, oh well, we can have sex and it's emotionless. But I really do find, and I don't know if it means that women are broken, but I do find that women can also do that.
Women can also do that.
Like, I'm sorry, but
I once had an argument with a really good friend of mine. I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to start shit. But I had an argument once with one of my guy friends, and he was like, "Oh, the reason why men like care is because they think that when you're like having sex with them, you're thinking about your ex or like a past or whatever." And I'm like, not one woman is doing that.
I mean,
Like,
some women might do that.
Okay, but like it's the same way that some men could be fantasizing about fucking anyone.
I'm sure
Like,
there's like a married couple that like, you know,
okay, fair.
it's like routine and stuff. So
yeah, okay,
the woman might be thinking of the best sex she's ever had.
fair. But like, I don't think that like regular women, like women who are, if I'm sleeping with you, it's because I want to sleep
It
with
is
you.
'cause I
Like
want to be
I'm not
sleeping
out
with
here
you.
sleeping with you and then thinking about Joe Blow from 3 years ago. Like that doesn't make sense. Or like like me and my friend get into like arguments like this regularly, like all the time. Just because sometimes he says things and I'm like, I'll fight you right here. Like,
and also I find that each gender assumes things about the other gender, but like only your own gender will really know. But at the same time, since women are good liars, you can't really trust what the fuck they're saying.
I'm fucking dying. It's just funny to me that like that's something that you would think about. Like, oh,
I think if you're an overthinker, then yes.
Yeah, but how many of us aren't? Like most of us are.
I feel like I am and I'm not. I think about a lot of things, but I don't like spiral into that thought. It's just a lot of thoughts going in and out. So let's say like this is a very big issue between me and my boyfriend. He'll like tell me something that I need to work on and then I'll think about it. And then 10 seconds later, I'm thinking about something else and then I completely forget what I should have been thinking on. And like I don't marinate on things and I'm like constantly just thinking about other things. And then like next thing you know, a month later is like, did you think about it? And I'm like, oh wow, I completely like I have like short-term memory loss or something. I'm like Dory. I'm like a goldfish.
I'm like 30-second memory.
Yeah, literally. It's so bad. I really need to write shit down and like revisit shit.
You definitely should. If that's how you feel, like if you're really like thinking like that, then you should. Personally, me, I'm an overthinker. And like when I
didn't know that you were an overthinker.
It's such a weird, like, it's so weird to explain because it's like I will obsess about certain things and like it's almost like I can't turn it off. Like, and like depending on what it is.
Maybe you need like Adderall or something. Do you think you have like do you think that you have ADHD or anything like that? No. OCD?
I do feel like I might have a little bit of OCD when it comes to certain things. Like I like things to be like lined up, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Like if I put a remote down, like let's say I put the remote down on the table, like right here, and if it's like a little bit off, like I will
parallel
turn
to
it
like the edge.
Like I will turn it to be parallel.
Interesting.
I don't think it's to the point that I can't focus on
right, and like your place is spotless.
That's not bad. Like it's not that bad, but I do have like
you fixate on things.
Yeah, like if I like for work, okay, like in the last episode,
and that's good because attention to detail is a great quality to have.
I was talking about how like like the confidence with work is not there yet, but like even with work, like if I am gonna send an email, like I'll reread it and reproof it like a million times before I hit send.
I don't. I be sending things and
no,
I'm like,
I can't. Like it's almost like it's like a scratch that you can't get. Like I just can feel like it just like I can. And even with like certain things, like if something is happening in my life at that moment and like things are not settled, things are not like I can't
get over it.
And like okay, remember that time there was like a million episodes ago when I said the comment like if I'm not having a good day, you're not gonna have a good day either, and people are like, oh, you're abusive and blah blah,
you're toxic.
It wasn't necessarily that I was trying to say that like I'm trying to ruin your day because I'm having a bad day.
Right.
It was more so of the fact that like
you need to express yourself.
Can't like have it on my brain
sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, like I am not a sweeper.
I'm a sweeper.
I'm not a sweeper. I don't like, and I think it's partly because like our mom is queen of like shutting you out. Like if she's mad at you, like she'll just fucking, and me, I can't live like that.
I feel like I'm like mom in that way.
I can't live like that. Like I can't live with.
You have to adjust.
I need the I can't relax.
It drives you crazy. Like you're gonna constantly think about it.
I can't relax if the issue is not, even if it's not necessarily solved, but like it's an open discussion.
Hey, do you find that you pair up with people that are the opposite of you?
Yeah. And
this is this is so crazy because I had a brunch with girlfriends and like me and my boyfriend were opposites, and also one of my coworkers was talking to me about her and her husband, and I find that a lot of people are paired up with the opposites of them. Communication wise, one person like if there's an argument, they need to settle it now, or like they need to express themselves, whereas there's another person that's like, oh, it's fine, or like I don't want to talk about it, or like, and I find it very interesting how those people always pair up together.
I think you need people like that.
But then it's always a constant issue.
But think about it. If two people who are sweepers are together, they're never going to address anything.
But then someone, because my thing is like the person that's like, no, we need to talk about it now, then the person that doesn't want to talk about it now, not that they compromise, but meeting in the middle, it almost feels like for the person that doesn't want to talk about it now has to meet the person that does want to talk about it now. And like, it's annoying because it's like, why do I have to change?
But the thing is that you being the person who wants to sweep it under the rug and not address the issue, you're not helping your relationship like that. So the only way to help your relationship is to address the issue at hand. It might not have to be right this second. Like I'm working on my communication. Like and I think the biggest thing is that because we were raised with someone who is like, will shut you fucking out and like not address issues.
She had unorganized attachment.
Yeah, like
it was just all over the place.
Yeah, so like because of that, like I feel like I want to like I need to communicate because I don't like,
and that's a great
I don't like things
have.
unsaid. I don't like feelings unaddressed. Like if you're feeling some type of way, I want to know, even if I'm mad about whatever, or like if I feel like I didn't do anything wrong or whatever, like I am very much the type of person that like I will like not necessarily I don't think it's a fake apology, but I will always apologize for hurting someone's feelings. Like even if I don't think I did anything wrong, but the fact that I hurt you or the fact that I made you feel any type of way, regardless of how I feel, I made you feel bad.
Right.
And I'm sorry about that because that was not my intention.
Right.
Regardless of whatever else in the background, at the end of the day, I didn't want to hurt you.
So what would you want your partner to do if like they hurt your feelings, or if you're just having a bad day? Like, what would you want your partner to do?
So I'm going to take today as an example. I woke up just in a bad mood. Like I've just been in a bad mood all week. I think my week started off not great. I've been having my own issues at work, whatever. So I was already not in a great mood. And then today, the guy that I'm seeing or like dating or whatever, we kind of like, not an argument, but we were talking about something and he was asking me for something and I was trying to explain something, but he kept talking over me. And so like right away I got irritated because I was already in an irritated mood, right? So, and at first, my first instinct when I get irritated or upset is I just don't say anything. And then I'm just like not talking and I'm not saying anything and like you're talking to me, but I'm not really like engaging.
So you shut down.
Right away I did. But then it's like I started doing my work and then I went down, I like let my dog out, came back upstairs, and it's like almost like now I'm like stressing about the fact that I'm upset and I haven't said anything. And I think past relationships have made me, I don't like things unsaid. So there was a point when I came back.
Yeah, because people can't read your mind.
Exactly. And there was a point when I came back and he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I was like, it's either I say nothing and then we just pretend like nothing's wrong and then it's just awkward for the whole day, or I'm just like, I'm annoyed about the way that you talk. I didn't like that. Like I didn't appreciate the fact that you're asking me for help and then you're talking over me and whatever. And it's like, for him, he's like, I didn't even recognize that I was doing that. And that's something I got to work on because he's like, I do that a lot. And it's not like intentional. It's not like I don't care about what you're thinking. You're saying it's just more like I'm trying to get all my thoughts out because I'm having them right now. And I don't want to forget what I'm saying. So like, I'm trying to like have like express all my thoughts. And me, I'm like, okay, but you're bulldozing over me. So I can't talk. Right. And like, maybe like 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't have done that. Like I probably just would have shut down and not had a conversation
resentment.
and then been annoyed for the whole day and then like been passive aggressive and whatever. But now it's like, I would rather just have the uncomfortable conversation because the uncomfortable conversation is only going to take so long and then we can go back to being fine.
Yeah, I think my problem was back in the day. So obviously you build these patterns. I would not say anything because I wanted to like avoid like a tough or an argument. But it's true, if you constantly are communicating, then they're not as big of an issue than if you hold it in. Yeah. You're fine with someone's actually pissing you the fuck off. Yeah. And like for the most part, your partner is good with like adjusting certain things, little things here and there. Then like, oh, like, yeah, I can't stand you now because you've been doing this. And
if I would have just told you from the beginning, the behavior could have changed. But if you're not saying anything, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this didn't come easy. Like, it's not like something that just happened overnight. And for me, it didn't even start happening because of a relationship. It happened because of a friendship. And it was more like I recognized that I was not a good friend to one of my friends in a time when they needed me. And it wasn't necessarily because I was like trying to be a bad friend. It was more like I was irritated with putting up with shit that my friends were letting happen to them and not doing anything about it. And it's like, if I'm always rescuing you and I'm here for you and I'm rescuing you, and then you're not doing anything about it, eventually I'm going to blow up and I'm going to get annoyed.
Right.
Because it's like, well, I can't save you all the time. Like J. Cole says, she doesn't want to be saved, right? So it made me not a good friend to that person. And it made me recognize, like, it took a long time. Like that friendship, like we didn't talk for a year. And this is one of my bestest friends ever. So for me, like, I'm not willing to lose relationships with people that I care about over petty things like that. Like, I care more about my relationship with said person than I care about not wanting to express myself.
Yeah.
Because if I care about you, me telling you how I feel shouldn't stop us from being friends.
Right.
If anything, it should bring us closer.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that my issue with that friend taught me that I need to talk about my problem. Like, I need to talk when I have an issue with what you're doing. Like, I need to say something, because if I don't, then I'm ruining a relationship that I actually value and I actually care about over some bullshit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's what changed for me. It was like, I just kind of started recognizing that, like, I can't want someone to open up to me and be upfront with me if I can't do the same.
Yeah, I like to keep my cards close to my chest for some reason, and it's honestly, I didn't realize how much it never really helped me. But I'm also the type of person that, like, I rather talk about your issues than my issues. And, like, I mean, I could talk all day about your issues or this person's issues, but then also it's because I'm not in tune with what's going on with me. So then I'm just like, oh, I'm good. And, like, all the time when I hear of people's issues, I'm just like, oh my God, everyone's got issues. Like, what is
But
up
you
with
also
that?
do. You just choose to pretend like you don't.
Yeah, but I also, like, would you find, like, the person that you're seeing mood-wise, whose mood, like, fluctuates more?
Mine.
I mean, and it might be also because you're a woman. Like, they do say women are emotional.
I don't think it's necessarily like, I'm not like emotional in the sense of like randomly crying.
Not crying.
But I do have like I get irritated so easily.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. Like, minor things irritate the fuck out of me. Like, I don't know why. I think it's more like, why don't you have common sense kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
like,
my boyfriend.
Me,
he I will get irritated.
Like, I get irritated over things that I'm like, why are you being stupid?
Why
like,
are you dumb?
Literally. So, like, I already know how I am.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, because I know how I am and I recognize it, I know that a lot of the times it's me being a dick for no reason.
Right.
Like, I know I'm being an asshole. So, like, I do try my best to, like today, like I said, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I was just in a mood and whatever. Like,
but as long as you could check yourself and be aware of
it.
Like,
I try my best to recognize, like, bro, you're acting like an asshole for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it takes a little bit longer.
Yes, I know.
You know?
Yeah.
But, like, I'm trying really hard to, like...
Because at the end of the day, you want to have a good day. Like,
that's what I mean.
Who wants to have a bad day?
Exactly. So, like, I'm trying really hard to recognize those things about me, and I try to, like, change my mindset in that moment. Like, little things. Like, I was having a bad day just because I woke up that way, whatever. The guy that I'm dating went to go I ran out of coffee too. Like, I was just annoyed. Like, I ran out of coffee. I'm having a shit day. I'm annoyed, whatever. Drinker. I love coffee. And he went to the store, got me coffee, got me my favorite little chewy candies that I fucking love. Those Lifesaver fucking gummies. Fire. And like,
fire.
It like changed my mood a little bit.
Do you have
know?
some
Like,
of those?
They're at home. I didn't bring any. I should have. Sorry. There's some across the street. When we go to the bank, we can grab some.
Okay.
But yeah, like, just like minor things, like, and I'm like recognizing that this person is noticing that I'm in a shitty mood,
right?
And like him going out of his way to be like, oh, I know she's in a bad mood. Let me grab some candy.
Yeah, that just shows that.
So then I'm just like, shit. Like, I am being a dick. Like, I need to check myself. Like, and being self-aware is a huge thing, and thank God, like, working on self-awareness is huge. And I as much as it sucks because it makes me overthink in the sense of like, okay, but like, why am I acting like this? Like, let's try to get to the root of the problem. I know that the root of the problem is me being stressed about work.
Right.
So like, I already know that that's what it is. So that helps me like trying to redirect my emotions, if that makes sense. I know I'm a control freak. I say it all the time. I'm a nag. Like, I will nag everyone. Like, I nag my friends. I nag the guys that I'm dating. I nag my mom. Like, I nag my brother. Like, I nag everybody.
You don't nag me, though.
I don't have to. Your boyfriend does it for me.
Seriously.
Like, I nag everybody because, like, I'm just like, I feel like I just want people to do what they need to be fucking doing.
And that I mean, I guess technically that means that you feel like you know what's best
For everyone. I don't do what's best for me, but I know what's best for you, and you should listen to me.
Okay, I want to quickly just talk about Chris Brown real quick because I did notice that he posted on Instagram. So All-Star Weekend was last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, Chris Brown, so he posted on his Instagram saying, I was asked by the NBA to play in the All-Star game this year, only for them to call later and say they couldn't do it because of their sponsors like Ruffles. At this point, I'm sick of people bothering me and I'm tired of living in the fucking past. I posted the email so y'all could see the NBA still was trying to get me to come and sit courtside, not happening. And and he posted the email. So when do you think that people should let go of the whole Chris Brown?
I feel like the
Rihanna
reason people don't let go of the whole Chris Brown and Rihanna thing is because Chris Brown doesn't necessarily take accountability. Like, every time he brings it up or every time he talks about it, he's like, it happened so long ago, blah, blah, like, people need to get over it. But it's like, if you would just be like, I'm sorry for what I did.
But he did apologize at the time.
Okay, but at the time, I don't even feel like it was sincere.
It was very fresh, and I'm sure his team was like made the apology.
Like, and also, like, even after that, he still was out here wilding out. Like, it's hard for people to let go of things when you're repeating the behavior and you're not changing and trying to be a better person. Like, a lot of people have forgiven other people, but they won't forgive him because he just doesn't seem to learn. Like, I don't know, man.
I think that's what it is with Chris Brown. It's like, I personally feel, even though he hasn't been like violent in a while. Well, I mean, there was that rumor of him and Usher getting into something.
There was a rumor.
Yeah, for his birthday. Apparently him and Tiana Taylor had like a disagreement, and apparently he had hit Usher, and then Usher and him were in the Lovers and Friends. They had like a outdoor festival the next day, but they didn't see anything on Usher. They didn't see anything on Chris Brown. And Usher never said anything. Chris Brown never said anything. But Usher was interviewed on The Breakfast Club recently after the Super Bowl, and Charlamagne had asked him, "Oh, did you ask Chris Brown?" Because he had asked like a bunch of people to do his show. And like he had asked Justin Bieber, and Justin Bieber said like no, but like they'll do something at some point down the line. And he's like, no, I didn't ask Chris Brown. And then Charlamagne asked him like, oh, well, there was that rumor that you and him got into an altercation. And he's just like, nah, I love that guy. Like, he kind of just like
brushed it off. Yeah.
Personally, I agree with you. I do feel like the energy he gives off doesn't seem like he learned from the situation. And then him and Karrueche had like domestic violence. And I know that was also years and years ago. And he just says so many like things about like dark-skinned women, shit like that. And then he's also like, people love Chris Brown. Yeah. People will always love Chris Brown. So it's like he still gets everything he wants. Obviously, he's not as big of a star as he could have been. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't know what he really needs to do to humble himself for us to think that he like has really reflected on it. But I don't know. There's something missing about the Chris Brown.
I feel like sometimes like he just.
But it was a long time ago. This happened in 2009.
Yeah, no, and no one is
like, imagine you made a mistake in 2009.
Again, that's what happens with credit. Like,
yeah, well, I think it's 8-7 years that it shows up, but like it's been more than that.
Yeah, but like if I'm out here fucking not taking care of that, it's gonna
like that was 15 years ago. He was 19.
I feel like he just doesn't like. he just acts so arrogant. Like, it's hard to
does.
like, it's hard for people to want to be on your team or on your side when you're so arrogant. And like, even the comments about like dark skinned women, like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Like, it's like ASAP Rocky. That's how I feel about ASAP Rocky. Like, you are a dark skinned woman. I don't give a fuck. Like, you're out your wallet now. Like,
I agree.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like people are always gonna.
And then Ruffles came out and said, like, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
We have nothing to do with
Ruffles
this.
out here gaslighting in the background.
But I feel like something definitely was like, no, I don't want him to play. But then apparently he would have been on Lil Wayne's team, and people have said, like, what about Lil Wayne? Like, he was a drug dealer, he was doing a bunch of drugs, like, he doesn't have the best.
Listen,
but he's such a happy person. Like,
doing drugs and self-harming is different than harassing women and being violent towards women. Like, people, if you want to do drugs and fucking sabotage yourself, that's your problem. But to fucking physically assault women is just not. It's just not the move.
Just know that even when you can make a mistake at 19 and it will follow you for the rest of your life, unfortunately. And I know that he had domestic violence in his household. So I know that a lot of people repeat things that have happened in their household. And also, like how can he truly learn from his mistake when, like, he's still a celebrity, he's still like doing so well in life?
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, yeah, he took a few hits because like a lot of companies pulled away from him. Like, I remember he had like a gum commercial during the time of when it happened, and like he did like kind of like he plateaued. Like, he's never gonna be at his full potential. Yes, and that's probably why he's just like, what the fuck? Like, I've actually paid for this. But you're still very successful. You go worldwide. You sell out your concerts. Women literally will do anything for you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. That's just one thing that you're just like, that's a stain you're never going to be able to wash off. And then of course it was to Rihanna. Like, it could have been any other person. Like Karrueche, I feel like if you had done that to Karrueche, maybe that would have been fine. And like, that's fucked up because women are women. It doesn't matter. Not one woman is not better or less than another woman.
Facts.
But because Rihanna is such a mega superstar, like, she was not the one for you to do that bullshit with.
I don't know, man. I feel like,
and seeing those pictures, like, we all remember. We'll never, like, it's gonna take basically us dying for you, and like, so you're gonna die too, because we're always going to remember. And it was like such a huge story at the time. Even if it was 2009, social media wasn't even popping like that. Imagine that shit happened now.
Oh yeah, well, look what happened with fucking Tory Lanez.
But they weren't both A-list. I would say Tory Lanez, for some odd reason, is a B-list celebrity, even though he should be as big as Chris Brown. Yeah. As big as Drake.
Anyways.
I'm not gonna lie. We've said this so many times. Like, I love Tory Lanez music. I might not fuck with him as a person, but his music is like top tier.
Chixtape 5.
I rather listen to Tory Lanez than Chris Brown or Drake.
Me too.
And I also was thinking, like, we have 4 minutes, but I was also thinking, because I know that there was always talks about Usher versus Chris Brown in verses. And like, I always thought, like, okay, who would win? Like, who do I like more, Chris Brown or Usher for verses, like, music wise? I'm sorry. I used to say Chris Brown, but like, I actually think it would be Usher. Like, Usher has been relevant and putting out great music since like the 90s. Yeah. Like, he's been big since he was a teenager.
When we were kids, is it the You Make Me Wanna?
Yeah.
That video,
he had My Way as well.
That song was this bitch's favorite
he was like one of my favorite artists from the beginning.
Favorite. That video, that song, that whatever. I remember at one point we got the fucking the Rogers where you could record the videos, and this one recorded. She listened to that shit every day.
I love Usher.
Like, love that.
Before Chris Brown, it was Usher. Yep. And before, like, Rihanna, it was like Aaliyah and Beyonce.
Yeah.
So I will never forget those artists. Usher 100%, like on, I don't know if Spotify does this, but Apple does this where they have like essentials for each artist. And sometimes when I'm cleaning the house, I listen to Usher's essentials and I'm like,
Dang.
it's literally hit after hit after
Yeah.
hit. Like
Yeah.
he is so good. And even like when, like he has so many different eras. Like I remember when I first started clubbing, he had like Love in This Club and shit
Oh,
like
yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
he had so many great eras, but so did Chris Brown. Like Chris Brown was a crush of mine. Like Chris Brown was one of my first crushes ever because he came out when I was in junior high
You
school.
and Katie?
And then Rihanna came out at the exact same time too.
You and Katie were obsessed.
Yeah, she was Chris Brown and I was Rihanna. And I'm glad that clearly it shows who's more toxic. She's the more toxic one. Katie's the more toxic one. Because I loved my Rihanna and she loved her Chris Brown. And yeah, just to show like Rihanna's a billionaire. She's with her man and has 2 kids, performed on Super Bowl. Chris Brown will never, unfortunately, ever, even though he's such a great performer, he will never, ever, ever have the opportunity to, and he's so talented, like I can never take that away from him. And it sucks because like a lot of people are huge and they're mediocre. Chris Brown is not mediocre whatsoever.
It just sucks because like if he was more of a humble person, like people would actually want to forgive and forget and whatever.
Exactly.
But the fact that he's just so arrogant, that he's just such a douchebag sometimes. Like when he even to this day, when he addresses what happened, he's arrogant about it.
Like that happened so long ago. Like,
okay.
You don't think Rihanna's still traumatized till this day about this?
100%. I'm sure A$AP Rocky raises his voice at her, she probably gets scared. The fuck? I mean, maybe not A$AP Rocky because
I don't think he's raising his voice at her.
Well, A$AP, I mean, she probably rock his shit too. Fuck.
Seriously.
Anyways, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok and on Apple. Listen on Apple Podcast and Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.